Good evening. Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to tonight's Masterclass, 5 Mistakes Families Make in the College Admissions Process. And if you are just joining with us, we had in the chat to rep what year you are graduating, what high school you attend. And I have already printed out all the questions that you submitted. So I'm ready as long as you're ready. So again, good evening, and let me just share a little bit about who I am. I am Regina Robinson. I'm the CEO and founder of Suited for Success College Planning Services, where we have been helping families like yourself successfully win the game of college admissions for the last 15 plus years. We have helped families gain over $25 million in scholarships and grants. Number way above that, we just still stay and say the 25 million. I am the author that Amazon ranks #1 for the book Winning the Game of College Admissions. So if you don't have my book, grab it today. It's the best investment you will make. And so tonight I want to share with you about how we can help your students and yourself not make these mistakes so that you can get through this college process with confidence and with ease. So we're going to jump right in. I don't believe in wasting any time because I believe you can go to my bio, read all about me on my website, and you can in fact Google me. So it's up to you. So here's the agenda for tonight. We have 5 mistakes we're going to cover. And of course, I'm going to throw in some bonus information all throughout. That's not planned, but I'm going to drop the wisdom and the gems anyway. So mistake #1 is starting the process late. #2, focusing on dream schools for your students. #3, overlooking scholarships and financial aid. #4, starting the college essay late. And last but not least, #5, navigating the process alone. And so which one of those numbers, I'm going to say, put it in the chat, which one of those numbers, maybe singular, or numbers, describes your family today, where you are right now. So it's a mistake #1. You feel like, okay, I'm in mistake. If I don't do something, I'm gonna be in mistake #1, maybe #3, #2. What are your numbers? And let's check for those numbers. I'm gonna check the feed. Okay, #5, #2, 1 through 5. That's right. Be honest. Thank you. Yep. I love the families who can be honest because that's how I can help you, right? 1 through 5, 2, 5, 5, 2, and 5. So 3 through 5. Okay, so they're all 1 through 5, right? So we're going to help you today to try and get through some of those areas so that you won't feel that way by the end. So I'm gonna try to make myself remember to ask that question at the end again so that I can see if your numbers change, right? So hopefully they will definitely change. All right, so let's start with mistake #1, starting the process late. The problems most families have is they wait until the last minute senior year to start thinking seriously about college. This limits their options and boxes them in for what's possible. If they had just started early, they wouldn't be so stressed out. But I have some solutions for you tonight that's going to help you to not have that problem. So as of tonight, you're going to start planning whether you're a freshman, sophomore, or senior. Unfortunately, we can't change your academics. We can't change your extracurricular. We can't change their leadership profile. But we can learn and teach you how to start adding to that so it makes a difference by the time they need it. The majority of the registrations for this masterclass were class of 2026, a few 2027, and then there were 2025. So let me say this now, for class of 2025, you might want to hang out with us tonight, but this really isn't for you unless you haven't done anything and you're considering yourself a behind the 8-ball family and you still want to try to get through the process. But this is really information for helping students who are freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and maybe if they're getting a head start, they might have middle school kids. Seniors class of 2025, I'll be hosting 2 master classes in the spring, further in the spring. That's going to help you once you've already got your acceptance letters and you just want to make a decision. So here is a timeline of where students should be. So I want you to find your grade level. You can screenshot this if you would like, because we do not email out the PowerPoint slide decks, but you're more than welcome to screenshot it, as most people do anyway. But find your grade level and start looking at the things that your student should be doing. But I'm going to flow through this timeline pretty quickly, but I want you to see it so you can have it as a mental record. 9th grade is building a strong foundation. By the 10th grade, you should be gaining momentum. The 11th grade, you should be taking college prep very serious. By the 12th grade, you should already be executing the plan you've created in 9th, 10th, and 11th. So let's scroll back to 9th. You should be focusing on your academics, and that's for all grade levels. You should be getting involved in extracurriculars in and outside of school, all grade levels. Start exploring careers. What are you interested in? Are you interested in the sciences, the arts, business, psychology? Start doing some summer programs around that so you can be sure that is really what you want to do. Develop strong study and time management skills. If you don't grab that already in 8th going into 9th grade, you're going to struggle throughout high school, right? Some of you are probably still yelling at your kids to say, why you got notebooks everywhere? Why you got papers everywhere, right? They're going to carry that through. You're definitely going to need that organization when they get to college. Build positive relationships. What do I mean by that? I mean with your counselors, with your teachers, with the staff at your school, because by the time you get to that 12th grade range, you're going to need some of them for recommendation letters. 10th grade, where you're gaining momentum, you're challenging yourself because your academics is getting harder. And that's for every year, it's going to get harder, right? You're starting to take PSAT in high school. You're starting to practice, hopefully, the SAT and ACT. You're continuing to involve in leadership skills, and you're getting involved in more extracurriculars now that you got a handle on what it's like to transition into high school. You're researching colleges. That's all throughout your high school career. And you're building a strong digital preference on social media, but a professional presence. 11th grade, you're preparing for the SAT and ACT official. So let me pause here. To all my 11th graders, if you have not already signed up for an official SAT and ACT, please do so tonight or tomorrow while you're snowed in, okay? Narrow down your college list. You should start compiling that school list where you were researching colleges in 10th grade. You're now narrowing that down, adding or deleting based off of your dive deep of the schools. And then you're deepening your extracurricular involvement. You're starting to draft and work to complete your college essay. All of our juniors in our program are already working on their essay. They are already narrowing down their college list. So those are things that are important because they're now juniors. They're ready. And so you also want to start exploring financial aid options, whether that's scholarships, merit aid, grants. You want to be looking at all of those areas and then having that conversation with your family about how you're going to pay for school, right? Because that's important. 12th grade, by the time you get to 12th grade, you should have completed all your applications on time. Apply for scholarships now. The apply for scholarships, although it's down in 12th grade, it should be on 9th, 10th, and 11th, but we ain't got that many bullets, okay, or boxes. So scholarships, you could be starting as early as elementary school. So please do not wait. Finalize your financial aid because you cannot apply until senior year. Keep your grades up because all schools require a final transcript. And last but not least, make a decision so that on May 1st, you can announce where you're going. So this is a rough college admissions timeline, but I hope you can see where you and your students are in this area, right? So one of the questions came in about where would we know, I'm going to put it on this screen for a second. Where would we know about, wait, I want to go back. Yeah, okay. Where would we know, someone just asked, how would we know where to find your college essay questions? See, I told y'all I dropped some gems, and this parent happy to ask questions, so y'all can thank her in the chat because I'm going to drop the gem. Your students should be Googling Common App questions 2024, no, 5. The last kids is class of 2025. 2025 Common App questions. Those are going to be 7 prompts. Your students should pick the one that resonates with them the most, and we'll talk more about that in the essay section. You want to know the difference between likely, target, and reach schools. What does that mean? When I say researching and creating that list of schools, you want to make sure you are creating a well-balanced list of schools. So likely means that you have the GPA, you have the test scores, but nothing is guaranteed anymore because the college process is very competitive. but that doesn't mean you won't get in. Typically 80% or more students get in, right? Or the acceptance rate for the school is very high, but if the acceptance rate is very low, it can push you for, although you have the test scores and the GPA, it could bounce you into being a target or a reach school. Target means you're closely matched to school's average, you have a reasonable chance, but the acceptance rate is not as high. It's 40 to 70%. So now it's just based on how many kids are coming in with your credentials, how many are coming in with your same major, and how many spots do they have open. Last but not least, reach schools. That means your stats are below in the average for the test scores and the GPAs. And I always tell my students, Ms. Robinson is not a dream killer, but I am a reality checker. Dream schools mean you don't have it. You hoping and praying, and you like, God, please, I'm standing in faith that maybe they might say yes. And if they do not say yes, you will not be crushed because you knew all along it was a reach school. Usually reach schools acceptance rate is anywhere between 30% and below, which means it's already competitive to get into those schools. So the ultimate goal is know the difference. Make sure your students are creating a well-balanced list. I don't know how many times students come in and entering in our program and their list is so off balance, but once we get them, we know how to help them get their list back on track. So we're making sure they balance their list out. Students aren't really looking at how they academically align with the school. They're looking at college based off of popularity, who went there, how many people went there, or who they know that went there. So keep that in mind. Someone said, how many should you have in each category? So here's what I always say. Students in our program apply to 5 to 7 schools. Outside of that, they're on their own. And if they desire to do additional, I tell them 10 is good. Please don't go over 15 schools. You can only go to one school in the end. And parents, every application costs money. So you're just spending money to be spending money. So to answer that question more thoroughly and some more gems, maybe 3 rich schools at the max. So let's say you're going to do it on an average of 7 schools, right? The top 5 should be in that likely and target category. You got 2 more spots to give to that reach category. So you're dreaming with maybe 2 schools. If you start dreaming with 3 and 4, 5 schools and you're only applying to 7 or 10, you might get a lot of disappointment in the mail. And then now you're balanced of not knowing where you could really go. So be careful when you're framing that. Understanding the college admissions decision plans. There are early action, early admissions, early decision, and regular. Okay. And so please make sure that you are looking at the process from this point. I always tell any students that come through our program, we don't do early admissions because kids change their mind like the weather changes. Just like tonight, all of a sudden we got a snow blizzard. Okay. Tomorrow it might be the sun out. So we can't take that chance because early admissions, as you see, you apply early, but it's a binding commitment. You can only do one school early admissions. If that school says yes, you have to resend all of your other applications from all of your schools and go with the school that accepted you that was the early admission school. Early actions give you just as much benefits. You apply early, you find out early, and it is non-binding. So all of my students, for every school that offers early action, they do early action. Early decisions, some colleges allow students to apply before their senior year. It's very few of those. So you really don't always have to worry about that. Regular decision, they kind of run throughout depending on the school. Some schools have regular/rolling. That means they have no deadline, which some kids get lucky with that. Now, I'm going to pause for a second because I have one bonus that I can give, but I need you guys to put some kind of emoji in the chat for me to drop the extra bonus on this slide, or I'm going to just keep going to the next slide. But I wanted to share it, but I don't have to share it if you guys don't really want it. So let's see how many emojis we can get here. And then I will share this extra bonus because it's key. And most kids miss this part and don't realize this part. Okay, so we got quite a bit. I'll roll and give it to you guys with what we have. So early action, early admissions, early decisions, regular decisions, they all have deadlines. However, what I want you to understand is deadlines mean deadlines. But what schools look at that is, let's just say you're applying to a college, their deadline will be December 1st at that particular school for you as a senior, rising senior for next year, and you wait to November 30th November 28th to apply to that school, what does that mean to the school? That means you're really not that interested in their mind, because if you were, you would have got your app in way before November 28th, and their deadline is December 1st. So please don't make yourself look uninterested. So here's what I'm giving you exactly what I give my students. In our Student for Success, we call them shining stars. I'm giving you all the nuggets that I give them that they have access to. All applications, class of 2026, should be completed by November 15th at the latest. I don't care what the deadline says, unless it says before that date, then you know you should be getting it in way before that, right? So if you're doing an early action for November 1st, you should be done by October 15th. If you're doing a December or January early action, you should be done by November 15th. So no application should be completed after November 15th. So that was the bonus. That's going to make sure you get yours back quickly. Here's a parent success story from one of our Shining Star families. Ms. Crawley says, words cannot even express my sincere gratitude for Ms. Regina's support and for holding our scholars accountable. True gem indeed. Let's go class of 2024. The sky is the limit. Evan is now a scholar doing very well at Morgan State University. He's been casted in all types of productions there, just doing amazing, amazing, amazing work. And so we are super proud of Evan here at Student for Success. You can see Evan earned over $220,800 in scholarships and grants when he was applying as a Student for Success Shining Star class of 2024. Mistake number 3, overlooking scholarships and financial aid. The problems most families have is they underestimate the cost of
Dana Nearing.
And then they assume that they won't qualify for aid. So they just don't do any financial aid, or they just don't do any scholarships. You should be starting, the solution is you start scholarship applications early and you complete the FAFSA no matter what. And then you explore your schools for merit-based aid options. You heard me say earlier, we've helped our students get over $25 million in scholarships and grants. Why? Because we focus on this box right here up top, merit aid. So merit aid is based off of your child's academic credentials, and parents, they don't care how much money you make. Can we say a oh yeah to that? They're giving the kids money based off of their opportunities that they created for themselves in their high school career. So merit aid is important. However, most students aren't even looking at merit aid for their schools. They are not looking at how they rank against their schools. And here at Student for Success, that's all we do with our Shining Stars. We're looking for the schools where we know you're getting merit aid for 4 straight years. Because at the end of the day, colleges are a business. They're in the business of making money and they want yours. The ultimate goal is for you to get them to pay you to attend their college. That's for every student, because you can do that if you look for the schools that qualify you for merit aid, you complete your FAFSA, you complete scholarships to cover the difference, then the opportunities are limitless. I am not just a college coach for students, but I am also a parent of a college senior who has not paid a penny for college. In fact, college has paid her all 4 years to attend school. She started off at McDaniel College in Westminster, Maryland, which is a $60-something thousand a year school. And she never paid. And now she's going to finish at my alumni, Bowie State University. So she'll be graduating from Bowie State. She transferred. She didn't want to stay on campus anymore. So parents, watch for all of that with the kids, right? But no, I love it. She's going to graduate from my alma mater, so I'm okay with that. So other types of scholarships are private scholarships. That means you are finding these scholarships, you are applying to these scholarships, and you are winning scholarships. Financial need base will be determined when you complete your FAFSA and it goes to the colleges. Then they will decide if you have any need base for scholarship money. You also want to check with your senatorial, legislative, and delegate within your area for their scholarships that they offer, because they do. My daughter got her senatorial one, no, delegate one twice. She should have gotten it all 4 years, but she was lazy and missed the application. But parents, do the scholarships. Bank scholarships, some of the banks that you bank with have scholarships as well. Stores that you shop at offer scholarships. You're already spending money in the store. They ought to give you some of that back and help your student go to college. Sororities and fraternities, please, you do not have to be a part of those sororities and fraternities for your child to win a scholarship. My daughter got multiple scholarships from sororities, different sororities. So please, parents, help your students and complete those. Also, the church that you attend, they also offer scholarships. Make sure you are asking your youth ministry, what's the process to apply for scholarships? So these are the different forms of scholarships that you can research. Here are scholarship resource websites. Screenshot this screen if you have not screenshotted it already. So these are different sites that you can go to, and then you're able to look for different scholarships and create scholarship lists. We also have our scholarship membership where we send out a list of scholarships to students and parents every month. They have the due date, they have by grade level of what they are. All you have to do is go through, click it, apply, and win. We get emails from families all the time about being on our scholarship membership and how their student has already gotten some scholarships and won scholarships. Here's what I know for sure. You will not win scholarships if you never apply. Will not win scholarships if you keep saying, I'm going to apply to scholarships, and then you keep doing searches and nothing's coming up. We create the list for you and we send it to you. I tell people all the time, you spend $20 in Starbucks in 1 week. 1 week, if not one day for some people. I know I go to Starbucks, I spend $20 sometimes in one sitting. And so here's a $20 a month membership that you can get back in one scholarship and pay for it for years for you to be able to get these scholarships. So parents, please, there's a list here. Take a picture of it, look for these scholarships and start applying. I'm going to pause for a second and don't be shy, or this is to help, right? I always ask questions in between so that we can get an understanding of ways we can help families better. So if you have started doing scholarships already, put a 1 in the chat. If you have not started doing scholarships already, put a 2 in the chat. And you can be honest, this is a judge-free zone. That's why I host these master classes, because I want to make sure you are equipped with the knowledge, right? They say knowledge is power, but we have to take that knowledge and put it into action. So we didn't get any 1s and we got all 2s. That's okay. Here's now, you know, from tonight forward. Okay, I'm going to drop a major gem. This is what I only tell my clients, and we've created this for our shining stars. Here's what you need to do. I'm going to give you the blueprint of this whole scholarship stress, because it's stressful for most, right? Here's the thing. You can't keep telling your children to apply for scholarships because they don't know how. They don't even know where to find them at. So please stop saying that to them. You're overwhelming them and you're stressing them out, and you're stressing yourself out as well, right? Every school, if you're on, because do the school counselors know of these scholarships? Yes. School counselors, if I know when I was at Duke, and I imagine Mr. Davis is still doing this at Duke, is they have an email blast that goes out. And in that email blast is always resources and information. And the majority of the time, there's some scholarships if they found out about scholarships. So please keep that in mind, that that is something your counselors are doing for sure. But you cannot keep telling your children to apply for scholarships. Parents, I'm switching gears from the students for 30 seconds and going straight to the parents. Parents, please hear me when I say this in love, right? I love doing these on Zoom because we're not face-to-face anymore for parents to be trying to trace me down in the parking lot. Miss Rice said, oh my God, girl, you told my kids to do, no. Okay, so here's what I'm telling you. If your kids don't get any scholarships, who pays for school? I just want you to drop it in the chat. Who pays for college if your kids get no scholarship? Who buys them sneakers, cell phones, clothes, sends them to trips and anything they want to do? Who does that? You. So do you really think that they think this is different? They do not. They do not. They believe that we have the money to pay for college. Can I tell you that 97% of students applying to college have never once looked at the cost of the college they are applying to until you said to them, do you know that college costs such and such $1,000? That was the first time they knew that. So how is it that you think that they can manage doing scholarships? So here's the nugget. After today, you decide, I don't know what day it's going to be of the week, but you need to create a scholarship night in your house. My Shining Star families love this. You have got to create. This is what me and my daughter did. Why do you think I said we didn't pay for college? College paid us. She would be on one computer. I would be on my computer. She would be on her cell phone. I'd be on my cell phone. We'd be dropping and working on 4 apps at a time. 4. You cannot leave this up to your children. That's why we actually created the scholarship membership, because parents kept saying, oh, Ms. Robinson, I'm so overwhelmed with finding scholarships. I can't handle this, but I know I need money. We said, okay, guess what? We're going to figure this out to work it out for our families, for everyone that's connected to us in our community, which is why we did the scholarship membership. My team searches for scholarships all month long so that they can have scholarships on the list. The scholarships list is usually 50 scholarships and up, sometimes over 100. But here's the deal. You get the list, you got to open it, you got to apply for it. So it's in a spreadsheet. You take off the ones you qualify for and relieve the ones you do. The due dates are there in the column, and y'all start working down the list every single month. Parents, here's the jaw dropper, because I need to make sure you understand this. On average, college costs families between $5,000 to $50,000 a year. So now think about that for a minute and drop an emoji in the chat of what you feel after hearing that. $5,000 to $50,000 a year in lieu of your monthly bills. So let's think about that. I mean, I can't wait to see the emojis. Not Miss Kim. Miss Kim, yours is to die for. Oh my gosh, yours is to die for. I love it. So here's the deal, families. I can't help but be raw. I can't help but be transparent, because I want you to be armed with the right knowledge so that you can, when we know better, we do better. So get those scholarships and do not hesitate on applying. I should be seeing, when I get off here, the thing ringing to say I got all of these. How many people on here tonight? 22, because me and my assistant is on here with you. So I should be seeing 22 enrollments in our scholarship membership, because I saw no ones. So I should be getting 22 registrations, and our February list has already gone out. But when you sign up tonight, we're going to send you February's list, because usually you wouldn't get it until March's list. But we're going to send you February's list so you can knock out some of the February scholarships and get to it. Because if you do not have money, there is no college. Someone said, is there a deadline for scholarship applications or same as college application? What is the relationship there? Thanks. So depending on the school, so you're asking, is there a deadline to apply for the school's scholarship, right? So students automatically qualify for merit aid from a school based off of their GPA test scores and application. So that is not separate. Then there are some schools that have additional scholarship money. And when I tell y'all this is a gem, because let me see, what was the parent's name that asked the question? Y'all can thank Mr. Paul for asking this question, because I'm gonna go ahead and give a bonus gem because he asked the question. Now, here's what you need to remember. Please don't forget this. Every school does not lump in their scholarship money with you applying. Some schools have separate applications for your scholarships. So I'm going to do y'all a bonus over top of a bonus, so y'all can just thank Mr. Paul in the chat and give him some love for asking the questions. Here's what my Shining Stars do. Hear it. I'm going to say it once. Record it in your mind, parents, so you can hear it, and I know you'll be able to help your children. When your child applies to their college, first thing you're going to do is you're going to call that school and ask them, right? You're going to say, oh, my student, or students are going to do it. The parents shouldn't do it. Let me back that up. Parents should not do it. Students should do it. Students, you are going to call the school and say, oh, I am a prospective student. Let's just use Bowie as an example. I'm a prospective Bowie student for the class of 2026. And I just would like to know if my application qualifies me for all scholarship money, or is there separate scholarship applications I must apply for? Now, I'm the admissions answering your question. Oh, thank you, Regina, for asking that question. In fact, we do have separate scholarship applications you must complete in order to qualify to get additional money from what we give in merit aid. Oh, thank you. Where can I find those scholarships? I'm on my computer right now. Can you give me that website for me to look that up? Y'all can sign off the masterclass now because I just gave y'all all this was what this was worth it right there. Just that one nugget. If your child does not, if they apply for schools that have that set up and they never ask that question to know that, you get no money. That means you're paying out of pocket because they didn't even try to apply for any scholarships because they were not aware they could apply for any scholarships. You must ask because it is not going to be broadcasted. 3 types of financial aid. There are grants, work study, and loans. All of the grants go under when you complete your FAFSA. They determine whether you get that, and it's awarded on the basis of need. Work study is a part-time employment for students on their campus, and they work with the student's schedule. My daughter did work study her whole 3 years when she went to McDaniel. She loved it, and they worked with her schedule. Loans is money borrowed, and it must be paid back. Don't borrow more than you need because you got to pay it back. There are 2 types of loans that are important for you to understand that your students will be assigned. Subsidized loans means you borrow that money. You don't have to pay it until 6 months after you graduate. It's not accruing interest or any of that. The government is handling that. It's deferred. Unsubsidized, which every kid gets, right? Of course, they're going to give them the ones that weighs the most, right? There are loans for which accrues interest the entire time your child is in college. So what you can do is pay the interest while your child is in college so it's not stacked on top of them. However, they don't have to start paying back full money or making payment plans until 6 months after they graduate, but know that the interest is accruing and you could stop the interest by paying it monthly. So those are things that you need to consider when it comes to that. Federal Stafford loans are every year the students get those federal Stafford loans, which categorize under subsidized and unsubsidized. That's how it's broken down. First year they get $5,500. Every year thereafter, the money increases. Okay. And so keep in mind, they'll give anyone's subsidized and unsubsidized loans. But what it does is it actually is based off of whether you get the unsubsidized side is more on the income side. Subsidized side, they're going to give those to the more need-based students. And then they're going to still give everybody some of that unsubsidized money because they know they're going to be able to accrue all that interest. Oh, so someone says, do the scholarship resources, the scholarship membership? Yes, our scholarship membership has scholarships on there for all high school students, high school seniors, and college students. So yes, they can continue getting the list throughout college because we do put scholarships on there for college students as well. Parent Plus loans. Parents, please, 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 please keep in mind. Here's what I want to give you about a Parent Plus loan. Now, for some, it is not something you can get around, and that is okay, right? And loans are not something sometimes you can get around, and it's okay. Remember, I said just borrow what's needed, right? But Parent Plus loans, unsubsidized loans for parents, is based on your credit check. That's how they're going to allot it. It's based off of your credit check to how they're going to give you an interest rate. It's based off your credit check on how they're going to give you a repayment plan. So parents, please do not borrow more than you need because guess what? It is 100% your responsibility, parent loans. They don't care if your kid comes to school for one day and decides college is not for them. You borrowed that money. Colleges don't give refunds. If your kid all of a sudden goes to college and they're there for a week and they drop out, you don't get your money back for that semester, parents. So if you borrowed a parent loan and it went on there, then now that's still your responsibility to pay that back. So please keep that in mind when you are thinking about loans. Loans are not bad. They are necessary for some students and some families. Mistake number 4, starting the college essay late. Students should treat essays as opportunity to showcase their personality and values. It is a place where a college admissions counselor can learn something about you that they cannot read from your transcript, your extracurriculars, just based off of titles. It is an opportunity, I always tell my shining stars, for you to color outside the lines, for you to get creative. Write your essay and make it authentic, make it compelling, make it like almost where the person that's reading it is on the edge of their seat. Like that's what we doing with our essays, with our students in the program. I'm like, nah, I have not gotten on the edge of, I'm sitting, my kids love me outside of essay time because I'm going to keep pushing until they get a masterpiece, because sometimes they don't believe in themselves. Well, I believe in them. And so I'm pushing them until they can't be pushed. And then when they're done and they get all those acceptance letters, they call me back and be like, Ms. Robinson, now I know why you was pushing me to get my essay done and make sure it was crisp and it was tight. I'll be like, okay, thank you. All right, I knew you would love me later, but I had to be hard on those essays. So they need to share their unique stories so that the college recruiter can see. So here's some key components in editing their essay. They need to ensure their sentence flow is smooth. They need to review their content. They need to make sure it makes sense, the story. The story needs to flow, it needs to make sense, it needs to build. They need to connect their thoughts and ideas so that it becomes a cohesive story. They need to read their essay out loud, not just putting it to their face and then reading like this. Read it out loud, because you will catch errors you wouldn't catch when you're just reading it. Check for grammar and spelling mistakes. I already dropped the gem because a parent asked earlier about the essay, and I said you can Google class of 2025 Common App questions. There's 7 prompts. You choose one and you start writing your essay. Do not wait to the last minute. And parents, if you are going to be a proofreader, give grace. Is the enrollment folks at school able to determine if the student used AI? Yes, because AI is a robot and AI sounds like a robot. If you've ever dropped something in AI and then pulled it out and then thought about it in your head, have you ever thought like, I wouldn't have said that way? And so I'm not telling them that. What I'm telling every student and what we tell our students, if you're going to ask AI something, it better just be a sentence. It better not be you asking AI to write your college essay to answer this prompt. That's cheating. And it's not going to be your authentic. Remember back, I said, let me go back. I said, write essays that are authentic, compelling, and reflect your unique story. AI doesn't know your unique story. AI doesn't know what you felt like in that moment. AI doesn't know how crushed you were, how much you cried, how much you hid in your pillow, whatever that. AI couldn't say that because they don't know that, but you could. So do not rely on AI to write your college essay, students. Please, please, and a double please. So you want to Google now. Again, if you're struggling with kind of like saying, oh my God, I really want to say this, but I can't figure out how to say this statement. This is what I came up with, but I feel like it's just not giving what I needed to give. Then you put that sentence in AI and let it give you suggestions, and then you recreate that sentence. Okay. So I'm going to pause for 1 second because I got a free gift for somebody. I just don't know who yet. I just got to figure out how I'm going to give it away. But if this has been helpful for you so far, because we're already to mistake number 4. If this has been helpful for you so far, drop some emojis in the chat. And then while I'm thinking about these emojis, I'm thinking of a way to offer this bonus, but I got to get the love first. I got to feel the love. I got to feel like you're getting something that you need. So this is going to be for class of 2026. I'm going to say everything first because usually if I say what to do, parents will do it before they even hear what I finish saying. So this is only for a student. So your student must be present, parents. They must be sitting right there with you. They must be a class of 2026 student. And the first student that types, or family, now listen, don't type in, Theo is here with me, 2026 Tessa. Everybody ready. So don't type. So here's the stipulation, 2026 students, hear me when I say this. Do not type what I'm about to tell you to type in the chat if you know you have not at all thought about your college essay. This is for the student who's been thinking about it. They kind of got an idea. They kind of have it in their head. They just not sure what direction to get started, but they kind of know what they want to write about. They kind of know what they're feeling. They kind of know what's in them, and they can explain it to me when I'm asking them questions, right? If that is you and you're a class of 2026 student, type a star in the chat. First star in the chat is the first student. All right, so Christian, it'll be Christian. So Christian, if you remain to the entire end of the master class, somebody else go behind Christian and put a star, because if Christian jumps off, okay, Victoria, then I have the other people in line in case. So Christian number one, Victoria number two. All right, so if you stay to the end, Christian, and if you fall off and Victoria is still here, then Victoria is going to get it. I am going to help you to frame your essay introduction. I'm going to give it to you. So if you don't have your cell phone sitting near you, go get it. So you have it ready when I come to you, because you're going to put on your recorder, you're going to record me, and I'm going to give you your essay intro based off of what you tell me. So you can stick around and wait to the end, and I will do that with you. That's my gift to one family tonight. Now, it's going to benefit every family on here if you stick around, because you will be able to hear what I say to that student, and it will help you as a student. So it would behoove us all to stick around. All right. So parent success story, another one of our parent, Adriana Adams. She attends Aggie Pride. Do we have any future wannabe Aggies on the line tonight? Adriana's mom said, my daughter was ahead of most of her classmates. Adriana graduated from Elizabeth Seton as it pertains to the college application process. Ms. Robinson is very passionate about her work and relationship with the students. Adriana earned over $170,000 in scholarships, and in the end, she chose North Carolina A&T. She is still one of my mentees. She's one of my college mentees, her and Evan, actually. And Adriana is doing amazing at A&T right now. First semester already she had already got all A's. So doing amazing. And that's what college is supposed to be. And so she's already had to call me 3 times for us to check some professors too. Listen, that's what we do. That's what I'm here for. So that we can make sure these students are successful and they have what they need. So mistake number 5 is navigating the process alone. Drop an emoji if you feel, no, not an emoji, because I don't know if we can describe this in emoji. Type in the comments if you feel alone, right? If you feel stressed, if you feel overwhelmed, type your word in the comment. Chat your word, whatever that word is that you're feeling right now as a parent, chat that word, whatever it is you're feeling. Because families often underestimate how difficult the college process is. Why? Because some of us have been to college and we believe we have all the answers based off when we went to college. Can I tell you that's a no-no? They don't even have paper applications anymore like they did when we went to college. They have now the SAT and ACT. They did not have both for us when we went to college. We knew nothing about anything about merit aid when we went to college. We were just trying to survive and just get a college to accept us. I know I was. And so that's really where it came down to. So we have anxious, overwhelmed and unsure, anxious, overwhelmed, overwhelming, nervous, lost, stressed, anxiety, stressed. Okay. So I'm hoping some of what you learned tonight is giving you some of those setups and plans so that you can have different things to start working with your family on, so that you can start navigating some of those feelings to move in a different direction. But here is one sure way. We know you can move, and I know you can move in a different directions, because we've had hundreds of families move in the right direction because they stopped trying to be overwhelmed, anxious, stressed, anxiety. not nervous, not knowing what was going on, and decided I'm not going to try and do this alone. I'm going to get organized. I'm going to make sure I hold my student accountable, but I'm going to need some help. And so that's where we come in with providing that with you. So I'd like to take this opportunity, if you would allow me to introduce to you guys our VIP College Bound program, where I expressed about our shining stars, which will for sure help you get past all of those feelings you are having. What are some things that our program include? First and foremost, I always say, our program allows for parents to sit on the sideline and watch their children thrive, because we teach them how to become self-advocates. Because when they get to college, I'm a former graduate of Bowie State University, because I told y'all I'm a bulldog for life. I'm also a former graduate of Georgetown University with my master's degree, go Hoyers. I'm also a college professor, former college professor at Trinity Washington University, also a former high school teacher where I taught at Duke Ellington School of the Arts. I taught at Wise High School, and I taught at Frederick Douglass High School. And so I know I didn't tell you guys all this in the building because I always sprinkle it through. And so what I know for sure is students are not what you believe getting help in their schools. They are getting help by themselves or at home. But when they get to college, they have to know how to navigate and advocate for themselves. And that's what we teach them. So they have access to an exclusive online database that houses every college in the United States, their profile, their GPA, their test scores, their financial aid, all of the information about their majors is all in our online database. And the students have VIP access to that. That's their account. They can see it all. We work with them through their online account. Parents say all the time, girl, the investment for the program was worth just the online account, because we can see everything. Because again, I told you, kids are not looking at price, only you are. And so parents have access to that to the students' online account as well. We do small cohort groups. The students will not be maxed in a group of over 15 students. They meet on Zooms. They know their meetings. We work together. And the reason they're in cohorts is because they thrive off of one another. So they're competitive and they success because they see someone else being successful. We meet with families initially to create a roadmap and blueprint to make sure they have everything they need to move forward in the college process. So although they're in a group cohort, they are always individual students and they're unique within themselves. They also have we also have academic profile review. So meaning they have their transcripts. We go over their transcripts with them. We go over it with the parents. You know, I became shocked when I started doing Suited for Success, because I didn't realize so many parents didn't know how to read their children's transcripts. So they had no idea what was going on with their students besides their report cards, but they didn't know what was on their full program of their transcript. We also work with the students on creating that list of likely target and reach schools. So we help them to make sure they have a balanced college list. We also work with them on their academic resume to make sure they have that to apply to their colleges and complete their applications. We work with them on making sure their recommendation request templates are completed. We also help them with the applications. They cannot submit any college application, and they're done by November 15th, no matter what. But they cannot submit unless I have approved and signed off on their applications. Scholarships reviews, if they have any questions on scholarships or essays, editing, we do that. We also work with them on beginning to end in their essay. And we also work with them on their SAT and ACT. We tell them, we do not prep. We tell them which test they're going to be best at so they can make sure they focus on the right thing. And then when it's time for parents to complete the FAFSA, we work to help you make sure you complete the FAFSA without making any mistakes. Tonight, because you decided to invest in yourself and your student, every parent who enrolls in our program always say at first, initially, that the investment, like, oh, Ms. Robinson, the investment is a little steep. But then every parent, if you go to our website and look at our success stories, tell you that they made back their investment in one acceptance letter. One, double, triple of what their investment was. So the little money they paid me compared nothing to what they got in their acceptance letters for their students in free money that they were not going to get because they possibly didn't even have this school on their students list. They got it on their list because they went through my program. And so that alone is the value of our program 10 times over for students and parents to be able to do. On your website About Us page, what is that list of colleges? About Us page, what is, oh, so on our list of colleges page, those are colleges that students have been accepted to throughout our program. We try and keep it updated, but we need to update it. So there's a lot more schools that need to be added to it. But those are schools of students who have gone on to those schools through our program. So tonight, again, that you showed up, if you went to our website and you clicked that link, you saw, because some people already jumped the gun when I was on that page, and that's why I moved fast, because you clicked that QR code and you saw what the price was. You saw this. But tonight, because you showed up on this masterclass, you can X through this. This is not what your cost is. Your cost tonight, and you get 48 hours to make a decision because it's not easy. And I want you to have time to discuss it and to think about it and to decide. We don't try and convince families that our program is a program for them. Our program results convince families. 97% of our students get into their top 3 choice schools. 100% of our students go off to college. And you can look on our website and see the type of aid and the money and scholarships and free money that our students get based off of going through our program. So I don't try and oversell our program. The program gives the results that it says it gives. So for tonight, and you have 48 hours to take advantage. And you can call me tomorrow if you got questions to say, Ms. Robinson, I just don't know this. Do you think this program is for my son or daughter? And I will answer your questions. If you have questions before that 48 hours, I have no problems with answering that question. If you have a class of 2026 student, the investment will be $5,500. You pay in full, or you can do a payment plan of 10 payments. Class of 2027 and 2028. In 2028, you're getting bonus if you're on here, and I don't think we have any 2028s, but if they are, they're getting bonus because we never offer the same rate for 2 different grade levels because they're with us longer. These students are with us until their senior year when they graduate. May 15th is their last time with us because most of them graduate at the beginning of May. It's $6,000, and again, you pay in full or you get 15 payments because you have a longer time frame. So again, tonight, and you have 48 hours to think about it. But because you showed up tonight, this is your price, not the price you see on our website. Those are what somebody tomorrow who never clicked on this masterclass tonight will go to our website, and if they enroll, that's what they would pay. But because you're on this masterclass, this is what you will get the opportunity to pay to enroll in our program, and you'll have 48 hours. Now, I still have a couple of more gems that I want to drop that was not included in the presentation. And then I want you guys to be able to hear me work with Christian so that you can see what that essay is all about. But if you would take a minute while you're here, we still have 19 families here. If you would click this QR code and grab your free gift, we gave you the ultimate guide in researching and choosing the right fit colleges. We just ask that you complete the survey. It's 3 questions. It's going to take 1 or 2 minutes. And I promise you, we thank you. But if we can get you to complete the survey, that would be amazing. Listen, I offered this masterclass for free. It did not cost you anything. But completing the survey would help us so we can make sure the masterclass is better, or we get your feedback so we have it for other families to be encouraged to get on. So if you would please just take a minute to complete this survey, I would greatly appreciate it. And again, it's only going to take you less than a minute. Once you scan the code, it'll pop up and you just answer the questions. In the meantime, Christian, can you come off of mute? And I'm going to leave the survey screen up. My assistant will start to tell me how many surveys we have, right? She'll say, oh, we got this amount of surveys completed. We got that amount of surveys completed. All right, so Christian, you did your survey before I start giving you all this bonus time. You and your family completed your survey? I think you might be muted. And Victoria, if you're still live, make sure you complete your survey, just in case I get time to get to you, since you were number 2 on the list. Okay, good. Christian, Ms. White, thank you so much. And so if we will, again, parents, please always say, my goal is to not charge for my master classes, but I know I give so much information on these master classes that the only thing we ask is to, no, we can't hear you, Christian. The only thing we ask is for parents to just please complete the survey. So again, if you would please click the QR code and at least show us that, okay, you know what? She did do this as an opportunity to bless us. I said to my team, we do the master classes, we give out, and then usually you get the replay, right? And most parents love that because they want the replay. They want all the information we're going to give after that. But what we decided as a team this time was to hold back the replay and give the replay to all the parents who complete the survey. And then the other parents just get an email saying, thank you so much. For coming to our masterclass, and that's it. They get no replay, they get nothing. Because we can't even get them to do a feedback survey, and it's a quick 3 questions like, was the survey, was the masterclass good, blah, blah, blah. So again, if we can get you to do the feedback survey, we would thank you so much for clicking the QR code so you can grab the ultimate free ebook too. So you definitely want the ebook. I know I would want the ebook. So that I know how to choose colleges, because right now some of you said you're not sure of what direction to help your student in completing the finance schools. So Christian, you might have to jump on your phone or something because we can't hear you. Okay, I'm bringing them in a different way. I'm gonna check tonight too to see how many parents actually enrolled in the scholarship membership too, to see if you actually did that, since I had all 2s when I asked if any families start doing scholarships. I can't wait to see if any families did scholarships. Enrolled in the scholarship membership to see, because I know when you start clicking those links, yeah. So we have 9 survey responses. Thank you. Thank you to the 9 families who've already completed their survey. We got 18 people on here, so we need 9 more surveys. And so if we can at least leave with, we have 18 people, if I can at least leave with maybe 12 to 15 surveys, I would feel like that we have really made sure we did what we needed to do. Christian, are you there, sweetie? I still don't hear him. I still can't hear you if you're talking. We don't hear anything. I'm going to try and go. I'm going to send you, I can see that you're off mute, but it just doesn't. I'm going to send you an ask to unmute and see if that works for you. Did that work? We still can't get him. Okay, so Victoria, are you ready? We'll come back to Christian if he can get his sound together. Victoria, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. How are you, Victoria?
I'm good.
Are you on camera? Can I see you? I'm trying to look to, they have these screens, and I was trying to see if I can see you somewhere. Are you on camera or no? And that may be why I don't see you.
Yeah, I'm not on camera.
Oh, okay. Okay, so help me. Can you come on camera? It just helps me to see you, dear.
Yes, I can.
All right, so you're in 11th grade. Tell me, where have you even thought about starting your essay, or are you still in that phase of, oh my gosh, I got to write a college essay?
I've thought about starting my essay, but not exactly in detail.
Okay. What are you thinking you're going to want to write about? So Christian, here are the questions I'm asking her, same for you. So when hopefully when you get your sound together, what do you believe you're going to write about or you would like to write about? What story?
Likely,
Mhm.
likely my experience at Duke Ellington School of the Arts, because I think it shaped a lot of who I am now and who I'm going to become in the future.
What department are you in at Duke?
Instrumental music.
Okay, you're in music. Are you wanting to go to school for that?
Yes,
Okay. Are you trying to go to a conservatory or regular?
a regular school. Music isn't the only thing I want to study.
Okay, cool. All right, so what about that? What about music? What instrument do you play? I'm sorry.
I play the flute and the piccolo.
Okay, so the flute. I don't even know what is it you say? Piccolo?
Piccolo, it's like just a smaller flute.
Oh, okay. So a flute. Okay. So tell me about what about that, the fact that you go to Duke, the fact that you have a flute or that's the instrument you play at Duke. What about that comes into a story?
Well, because I think with you said you've worked at Duke Ellington, so I think you know how the schedule is.
Mhm.
It's really complicated and it's really long, and I think that having so many classes between academics and arts has helped me kind of learn time management better and how to work with having multiple responsibilities at once and trying at least I think at this point, my junior year, I'm starting to get the handle for sure on not letting everything pile up on me and stress me out too much.
Okay. So do you have your phone? Remember I said make sure you have your phone with you and you can kind of be recording.
Yes.
Okay. So here's what, and this is only like the first sentence, and I don't even know why it popped up. I think it popped up based off your conversation. So remember that when you're starting your essay, you want to leave some suspense, right, in your intro, and then you want to build, right? So you're going to have to decide what's one, two, and three. But here's what I hear so every day when I walk in the building, the sense of normalcy closes, or every day when I enter the building, my sense of normalcy leaves, I mean, or kind of stays outside the door kind of thing, right? So kind of like almost like you're walking through this door, right? Like I don't know why my mind went straight to that, but almost like you're walking into the building. You're not even saying in school, right? Because you're gonna get to that later. Remember, leave some suspense, right? But every day when I walk or every day when I enter the building, my sense of normalcy is left on the outside. When I hear the door close, I realize that everything about the day is going to become blank, blank, and blank. Those blank, blank, and blank is your one, your two, your three body paragraph. So it's going to be filled with what or blank with what or blank with what. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Um, um, Once you do that, right, you can come behind that because you don't want to leave out the part about your instrument too, because that kind of, I think that kind of could tie into it. And you can almost say that once you talk about what those three things are, right, you can almost say the rhythm of or within the so every note that's played gives me the rhythm to master, or you know what I'm saying, so you can go with that also, so you can fill in those pieces, but you're trying to remember it's a story, so you're trying to set the tone for what's getting ready to come, and then you're going to build. So let's say one was about friendships, right? So your whole body paragraph one is going to be what did Duke teach you about friendships, right? And then you can even use those sentences and examples of building those sentences about friendships all around the whole music thing, right? So just like with friendships, the uh, friendships change, right? They don't always stay the same. Well, every note you play doesn't always stay the same because you switch within the notes of the music, just like you switch within friendships. So the friends who entered ninth grade with you, maybe not your friends 12th grade, going into 12th grade, right? So you see how you can still use the music concept of your, because it's almost like building that foundation of Duke in the music, are you standing on the music? Because remember, you're going to be appealing to some of those music programs. And so that would tie in, and then you can still tie in about your major. But does that give you a little consensus of, because you said, like you said, you worked at Duke, so you know how it was with the schedule, right? So again, there's no sense of normalcy for Duke Ellington School students at all. They are not like regular high school students. In fact, I've always told them, y'all like little mini adults running around here because you got to fend for yourself. You have to have that mastered. So I believe you being able to pull all of that together could give you room for a really strong essay. Does that help?
Okay.
Any other questions based off of that?
I can't think of any. That was really helpful. Thank you. And I got it.
Okay, good. Christian, were you able to fix your fix your speaker?
I think so. Can you hear us?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. All right. This is my son, Khalil.
Hi.
Oh, I was calling the parent's name. Is that what I kept doing?
Yeah, that's me,
Yeah.
but
Oh,
he's
okay.
the.
I'm sorry. Okay, so Khalil, what do we got? So you heard me ask some of the questions to Victoria. So give me a little insight of what you would like to write yours about as well.
Okay, so for my college essay, I wanted to focus on my leadership qualities, but mainly on like my story of how my life's been.
Okay, what
So,
about your life? What about how your life has been?
so for instance, there were like a couple challenges in it with my father passing away 2 weeks before I started my high school career.
Okay,
So I've been emotionally unwell, but I managed to persevere and keep a 4.0 GPA throughout my high school life.
okay. So, oh, you got your recorder too, sweetie?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So Khalil, first and foremost, just my prayers to you and your family and the fact that you're strong and you've been able to get to this point, right? And overcome that. And so kudos to you and mom as well. I know that's not easy for you to even be vulnerable and share that here. And so I commend you for even doing that. And so what I hear kind of like from based off of just a little bit about where you're going to have to, again, get that 1, 2, 3, right? That's going to be important. But what I kind of hear immediately when you said something, when you started talking about it and going through it, what I heard in my mind is, and I always that's why I always say turn on a recording, because when God deposited, I'm going to just say it, right? It's not going to be perfect. You're going to have to play with it to get it perfect. But if you can take what I'm saying and then add in your own voice and your own sound, it can become great, right? So I just try and give you guys starter points for it. But what I hear for you is nothing could have prepared me for that day to walk in school without the touch, the feeling, and the emotion of knowing he was there. Now they're like, what? Who was there? What? Wait, what do they mean? What emotions? What feelings? What was there, right? What I thought 2 weeks ago shifted and changed my life, I realized on that day, he was there. He was present with me. He was holding my hand. He was navigating the hallways. He was giving me that sense of confidence I thought I was not going to have without him. And so
Okay.
it's emotional, but it's not. And because I know you're saying, well, should I be that emotional and raw? Yes. Because can you hear that? Like I'm sure everybody now, even myself, I'm having to hold myself back from feeling emotional, right? I don't even know your dad. I don't even know your family, but I can only imagine what it's like to be worrying about being an eighth grader, going into a building where it's a bunch of high schoolers and already thinking about it. You guys think about bullying, you guys think about being the new kids on the block. There's so much to think about. And then on top of that, you had to think about that. But here's where I hear the ending of that paragraph going. What I thought would break me created the man that I am today. A leader, blah, 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 blah. So a leader So a leader is number one. What's your blank number two and your blank number three? Because those become your body paragraphs. So what you got that day was you learned that that was going to be your sense to become a leader. So leader will probably be third, right? Because it takes time to build into that. But you maybe became more confident. You maybe had a new sense on life, whatever it was that you know are not going to bleed into each other. Those are going to be one, two, and three. But they have to be things that are impactful. Leadership is already one. That's one we know, right? That could be that third thing. And that could be every year you feel like you've brought that. And don't be afraid to bring back the story of your dad now inside the body paragraphs, right?
Mm.
What did he teach you about being a leader? What leadership skills did he possess that he instilled in you? Because I'm sure he did. And so you can deposit and drop some of those into your paragraphs. Same thing about whatever that point number one is and point number two. Do you have an idea of what you would want point number one and point number two to be? Because remember, three is leadership.
Okay. So, sorry, got a little nervous.
Don't
Um,
be nervous, son. Take your time. Remember,
okay.
this is no judgment zone. This is so that you can get what you need. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to knock the screen off. I somehow went on something totally different. Go ahead. I'm waiting for you though. I'm listening. I'm just trying to figure out what I did wrong. Can y'all see me still? I just want to make sure.
Yes, yes, we
Oh,
can.
cool. All right.
Okay, wait. I'm sorry. Can you repeat what you said about point number one and point number
Oh,
two?
so I was saying, what are your 2 points that you think? So leadership is one. So remember when I say points, these are your body paragraphs.
Right?
Okay, so leadership is something that you're going to talk about as a body paragraph. What about one and two? What do you think you want to talk about there?
Let's see. Other than leadership, um, different skills that I've gained through high school, any jobs I have that
Okay.
I've had.
So do you feel like, so let me ask you this, when you got to high school or in middle school and through high school, were you shy in middle school and shy in high school?
No, not really.
Okay.
Right.
Were you an athlete? Are you an athlete in school?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Are you in a lot of extracurriculars?
Not not a lot.
Okay.
Track all year.
But I
And,
do track all year round and I'm in the Kappa League.
okay. Wait a minute, in a what league?
The Kappa League?
Or Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity.
Fraternity Kappa?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. So of course you could talk about some of that in the leadership paragraph, right? But manhood, right? So manhood could be number two, right? Because then you're going to lead to that. Let me tell you why I said manhood when you said the Kappa's program, because I know that's what they teach in that Kappa program, manhood. And
Yeah.
so here's how the manhood paragraph could work to your advantage, right? Because it shows that you were in something extracurricular, but it also ties back to your dad, right? You lost um, that figure to teach you manhood, right? Mom
Hmm.
can teach you a lot, but she can't teach you manhood. But her enrolling you in that Kappa program was her stepping in to give you that what you needed. And not that each one of those Kappa men knew they weren't replacing your father. They were there to give you what your dad would have given you if he was here,
Okay.
right? So you see how you can do that with manhood, you can do leadership. So you learned manhood, you learned the leadership, because the leadership could be about the sports and activities, in
Hmm.
school, in your classes, other things that you're doing in leadership, right? And how you want to continue to grow as a leader when you get to college, right?
Right.
And I would say this, when you get to that leadership paragraph, drop a quote from some leader. It doesn't have to be Martin Luther King, but you know, he got some good quotes about leadership. It could be anyone else, but you want to drop a quote in that leadership paragraph.
All right.
Okay. So
Okay.
that you can help build out that paragraph. Take time to think on number one. You don't have to decide on number one today. Take time to think on number one. And if you're in, listen, if your mom has you as one of our shining stars, you won't have to worry about this because I'm going to help you build from beginning to end. However, if you're not, or if you do a la carte with us on essay writing, whatever it might be, keep in mind that you're gonna need support to build it out, or if allow mom to be your support. Don't discount her being your support if you don't have some support. But parents, can I tell you, for some students, these essays is their ticket in or out for some of our babies in college, for some of them getting no's or yeses from their schools. And so please make sure they have support. They are not getting help in school with their college essays. And if they are, they're past the deadline of when they're getting the help for getting their applications in a timely fashion. So keep in mind the timelines are different, and you want to make sure the kids are not under pressure that they can't write a compelling essay. Some of our kids have earned extra scholarship money for their essays from their colleges, and you can hear why. Because I take time with them and I'm going to pull out of them what's in them because they're too nervous sometimes to hear the story within themselves. And so they just wind up writing some stuff on paper and they're like, okay, here's my college essay. Not when you're trying to get into a competitive college. You need a unique story and you need to make sure your story stands out. So students, do not wait till the last minute to start working on your college essay. You can see how intense it is. I hope this helped every other student who was here that maybe didn't get a hot seat, but because you heard Christian and Victoria's hot seat, oh, I'm sorry, Khalil and Victoria's hot seat, I hope it helped you too. Are there any final questions? Because I do want to give time for questions. Most people jump off. They never hear, they never stay for the questions part, so they don't get to benefit. The masterclass is supposed to go to 8:30 anyway. They don't get to benefit from the Q&A part. They jump off, and then you guys get intimate time to ask any questions that you might have. So we are down to 11 of us. I hope you all who are still here completed your survey. I hope if you're interested in the program, you take advantage of the discount within the next 48 hours. If you have questions about whether the full program is for you or maybe some of our a la carte services, don't hesitate to set up a call with me or just contact our office. And I will answer any questions. My assistant will drop my office phone number in the chat. Just call. If you don't get me, leave a voicemail. I'll call you back. Just say I have questions about something that was shared on the masterclass last night. She dropped the a la carte link in the feed as well for you to be able to see that. You already have the program discount code here on the screen. And Jama, if you would put in the my office phone number, the 240-443, that would help, and everyone will have that direct number. Any questions, you can come off of mute, ask your questions. We got about 7 minutes. I'll hang around and answer any questions you might have. Connect with us on social media. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram. We share college-bound information every day, all day. And we are hosting our upcoming spring break college tour. If you're not on the tour and you're interested, we have 12 seats left on the bus. The college tour is $750. We go to Clark Atlanta, Spelman, Morehouse, A&T Central, Virginia State, Hampton, and Norfolk State on spring break. Any questions? Again, please come off mute, or you can chat the questions if you might have questions, but if not, come off mute, ask your questions. I love to hear your voices. So you don't have to actually type them. You can definitely come off mute and ask your questions. I'm assuming I did so good with sharing so much information that nobody has questions. I am totally shocked that no one has questions. Not one person has questions. That means I did good. I'm just shocked a little. Um, no questions. Students, parents, any question. I always say no question is a dumb question. Please don't leave the Zoom without asking a question, and then you get off and you're like, well, I don't know, and I should have asked her that. So if you have questions, please, 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 any question, come off mute. I will answer your question. We're still here with each other anyway. So if you have a question, please, any question.
I have a question.
Yes.
So I hear different answers about when I should apply. Sometimes I hear like early senior year, which is around the time you gave, like by November 15th or earlier, if the deadline's earlier than December or January. but should I start really closer to the beginning of my senior year or towards the end of this year, my junior year?
So college applications open for the class of 2026 on August 1st. So you have from August 1st to November 15th to complete your applications. That's your window. I always say, you heard me say, no, this is just my rule of thumb. People will tell you, oh, applications are still open, blah, blah, blah. No, August 1st, November 15th. All of my students, so our class of 2025 cohort was finished by, all of our students, with the exception of one, was finished by October 15th. One went until November 14th. So look at the timeline, right? And so year after year, I'm pushing my kids to finish as close to October 1st as possible and not even reach near that November 15th date. So all of them were October 15th, except for one. And so please stay within that timeline. The earlier you apply, the quicker you know. Remember, all schools give money, but on a first come, first served basis. Okay, so keep that in mind when you're finishing applications as well. So all applications open on August 1st.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Other questions? Remember, no question is a dumb question. Please ask any questions you have. That's why we're here. I just want to make sure I answer any questions that you might have. If you have any questions about anything with the college process, anything about any of our programs, our scholarship membership, or VIP program, our a la carte program, purchasing our book, any questions you have, we can answer those while we're here.
I have a question about the college tour.
Mhm.
It says that like students choose their roommates and stuff. So what if they don't know anybody, will you guys place them with someone?
Yes, so if they don't know anyone, so on our mandatory meeting, the students all introduce themselves. They talk about what programs they're in at school, what extracurriculars, what hobbies, and then we group them. They also will say what school they attend. So if there's other students on there that attend their same school, a lot of times they know other kids, they just didn't know those kids were going. But we do not we will, if they know friends who are going, they get to pick their own roommates. If they do not know any friends going, then we help them group together in with other young men or young ladies.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have a question. This is Kevin Hawkins. We are coming from California. We do have two other cousins who are going on the college tour as well. How many will be in the room?
So remember, on the website, they're in quads. So their students are in fours.
Okay.
And you
And
said your child is coming from California?
yes, so I'm as well coming with him from California. So my initial question, I think I'd send a question, but where is it starting and where is it ending?
So we start in Maryland, we end in Maryland.
Okay.
However, our last location, if that's convenient, and we can definitely talk offline about it too. But our last location, if it works better for you guys to, well, you won't be with him though, right?
Just to take him there.
Yeah, so Maryland and Maryland. Because I was getting ready to say, we end in Virginia, but I forget you won't be living in that area to catch him in Virginia and get a flight from there. So yes, so Maryland and Maryland, we leave from Maryland, depart from Maryland. And if you reach out to me, I can tell you guys about, we've had kids come from, in fact, one year we had a whole group of about 15 kids from California come on our college tour. So I can tell you about the hotel that's close to where we depart from. So it'll be a quick Uber ride for him the morning of.
Okay. Well, he's gonna is on Maryland is really the great information that I needed because we can fly into DC
Yes,
and
DCA.
his cousins will be from DC, will be in DC as well. So
Oh,
all
good.
three of them will be able to maneuver from there.
Oh, yes. So, yep. So he can fly into DCA. And if he has other people, friends that's going on the tour that's here, then they can all get to the bus together and get from the bus together back to whoever house they're going to be at.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. Just remember, we leave Monday morning really, really early, so he would need to fly in Sunday.
Will do.
Okay. Any other questions from any parents, again, about our college tour, our programs, our book, scholarship membership, any questions, your essays, testing? Remember I said be sure to schedule your SAT and ACT exam, please, please, please. That is important. I say all the time, the kids can go with us on the tour. We can give them that experience, but if they come back and they don't have all their T's and I's in order, they're going to be lost still coming back from the college tour, which is why we try and help them, which is why we try and do these resources to make sure your families have everything they need, not just part of the puzzle not just one piece of the puzzle. We want to make sure they have all the pieces to the puzzle. So thank you so much for jumping on tonight's masterclass. We hope this helped. We hope you got what you needed from this masterclass. If you did, drop some final emojis in the chat. And we would, again, love to stay connected with you. Follow us on social media. We dropped our handles in the thread. If you have questions about any of our programs you maybe didn't want to ask online, call my office. I'll be in the office snowed in the next probably day or two. If you have a school and you don't ever see me at your child's school doing workshops for their schools, let me know. Or if you're school organizations or rep or counselors and you want us to come and do parent information sessions for your parents, let me know. I can jump and do that as well. But again, thank you so much for jumping on to tonight's masterclass. I hope you're leaving feeling a little more confident, less stress, and that you have some jewels that you can take to the next level. Take advantage of downloading the ebook so your students can start researching schools. That's important. That's key. So that they have that opportunity. You're already connected with us via our newsletter. Watch out for follow-up emails. Watch out for our monthly newsletter that we send out once a month. And we hope that that will be able to continue to help you guide and navigate this college admissions process. Again, we are always excited about helping students and empowered to make sure every family has the resources to win the game of college admissions. Thank you so much for jumping on tonight. Have a blessed evening.